President Uhuru Kenyatta playing Raila Odinga ahead of 2022 general election? I'm waiting for your answer. Is Uhuru playing Raila Odinga? That's one question which most Kenyans have been asking. And yesterday, a subscriber on this platform posed the same question to me. And I told him I was not going to provide an answer, but would instead produce a whole video to answer the same question. And today I want us to look at whether Uhuru Kenyatta is actually playing Raila Odinga. But before we do that, if you're watching this video for the first time, I want you to take a second or two and click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And earlier today, President Uhuru Kenyatta and his elder brother Raila Odinga were in Naivasha for a meeting with members of parliament and senators who are supporting the Building Bridges Initiative report. And James Orengo read the resolutions of that meeting. We are going to have a referendum in April 2021. Tomorrow I'll dedicate a bit of my time to dissect the content of that resolution. Now back to the main issue. Is President Uhuru Kenyatta playing Raila Odinga? There are two schools of thoughts. There are those who believe that the president is playing Raila Odinga. And then there is the second school of thought, where I belong, which believes that Uhuru Kenyatta is not playing Raila Odinga. That politics is all about interest. Uhuru and Raila are serving their interest through the handshake. And let us begin with the school of thought, which believes that Uhuru Kenyatta is actually playing Raila Odinga. They base these arguments on four reasons. Number one, they believe that Uhuru Kenyatta needed peace to govern the country after the bitterly contested general election. And that Uhuru Kenyatta had to reach out to Raila Odinga and his supporters. And they give the example that today, Uhuru Kenyatta can easily go to Mombasa, the way he was in Mombasa last weekend. He can easily go to Kisumu, he can easily go to Western Kenya without any problem. So today, Uhuru Kenyatta is enjoying peace. In fact, Uhuru is a bit fatter than he was before the last general election. So they believe that because Uhuru needed peace, he had to reach out to Raila Odinga, and that will mark the end of them at the end of his term. Number two, they also give this scenario where after the handshake, Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga were supposed to tour the country. And as a matter of fact, Uhuru and Raila toured the NASA strongholds. But so far, Uhuru has never invited Raila Odinga to central Kenya. And because of that, they are reading something that probably Uhuru wanted to use this handshake to explore areas which were hostile to him, but still prevent Raila Odinga from gaining grounds in areas which are hostile to Raila. Number three, the third reason they give is that when it comes to the Building Bridges Initiative process, the only person who has been pushing it hard was actually Raila Odinga and not President Uhuru Kenyatta. And there were instances where Raila would say, we are going to unveil the report. It failed to happen. That they were expecting President Uhuru Kenyatta to issue a statement, never happened. And that Raila Odinga was actually the person who was not taking the face of the Building Bridges Initiative report or process. And lastly, and this is the biggest concern to the other group, is that the deputy president is currently touring central Kenya. And that what President Uhuru Kenyatta is trying to do is trying to corner Raila Odinga, make Raila Odinga busy with the Building Bridges Initiative report, so they'll be campaigning for the Building Bridges report. While that is happening, the deputy president will be down there campaigning. And indeed, the deputy president is currently campaigning. But I don't think those are compelling reasons enough to believe that President Uhuru Kenyatta is playing Raila Odinga. I have my own reasons because I strongly believe that politics is about interest. The handshake served personal interest of President Uhuru Kenyatta, and is also serving personal interest of Raila Odinga. And that's why the deputy president is rebelling. And why do I believe that the handshake or President Uhuru Kenyatta is not playing Raila Odinga? The first reason why I believe so The first reason why I believe so is the Uhuru-Ruto alliance. If you followed the politics of Uhuru and Ruto ahead of 2012 elections, these guys, they were friends on and off. Then after 2007 election, both of them found themselves at the Hague. And then later on, they shocked the entire country when they formed an alliance, the URP and the TNA. And they won. In the last election, which is 2017, President Uhuru Kenyatta was very clear that he was going to support his deputy for the presidency in 2022. He was very clear. So his deputy, being a shrewd politician, decided to engineer a merger in Jubilee. So URP was folded, TNA was folded, and 12 other political parties were actually folded. And they formed one political party called Jubilee Party. Today, Jubilee Party has the highest number of members of parliament. They have the highest number of senators, MCs, governors. So basically, Jubilee Party has absolute majority in parliament and at the Senate. So there was no need for President Uhuru Kenyatta to reach out to Raila Odinga when it comes to governing the country, because they had the absolute majority in the Senate, absolute majority at the National Assembly. They lacked that in 2013. And because of that, there was no need for the president to reach out to Raila Odinga. He was still going to control and run this country even more smoothly than today, where the deputy president is pulling on the other side. Number two, not really number two, the second part of that alliance is that if you look at the figures, Uhuru Kenyatta became the president courtesy of the Central Kenya votes and the Kalenjin votes. That's in 2013, plus the system. In 2017, they added more votes. For example, if you go to Nyamira, Nyamira voted for Uhuru Kenyatta. If you go to other places, even Coast gave him a bit of votes, perceptually speaking. So it means for Uhuru Kenyatta to make William Ruto the president of the Republic of Kenya, he didn't need to play Raila Odinga. Why should the deputy president be subjected to the kind of campaigns he's currently engaging in Central Kenya if Uhuru was serious about William Ruto becoming the president? That would not be happening. Uhuru just needed the unity between him and Ruto, and then convince the people of Central Kenya that Raila Odinga is a bad man. So the entire Central Kenya not to vote for Raila Odinga. So in my view, because these guys had everything, they had the system, they had the tyranny of numbers, Uhuru didn't need to reach out to Raila Odinga. So I'm sure because of that, Uhuru is not playing Raila Odinga. Number two is Uhuru Kenyatta legacy. Even Raila Odinga's legacy. Let's face it, after the 2013 general election and the 2017 general election, Uhuru Kenyatta needed to leave a legacy. But that legacy was being tainted by credibility. Nobody believed that Uhuru Kenyatta won, especially after the courts nullified his election. The courts nullified the elections. After the courts nullified the elections, NASA boycotted that election. So Uhuru became the president with I don't know how many votes. There are places like Nyanza where Uhuru Kenyatta was never voted for. So Uhuru Kenyatta as an individual, now Uhuru Kenyatta, wanted that credibility. So he reached out to Raila Odinga. Remember, Raila Odinga had sworn himself in as the president. He had engaged himself in kind of guerrilla movement, the NRM. Internationally, Raila Odinga's image was also being tainted as someone who sworn himself as the president, someone who was leading a militia. So Raila Odinga also needed to clean the image. So Uhuru needed credibility. Raila Odinga needed to clean his international image. And how were they going to do that? They needed the handshake, embrace each other. And the world now started embracing these two gentlemen. So Raila Odinga was able to clean his international image, and Uhuru then appointed him at the Africa Union as the High Representative for Infrastructure. Then Uhuru Kenyatta now was able to rule because his main opponent was now able to acknowledge that he's the president of the Republic of Kenya. Because of that, I'm sure the arrangement these guys had were personal. It was going to benefit both of them mutually. Number 3 is the allies of President Uhuru Kenyatta and the allies of the deputy president. These guys are saying that Uhuru Kenyatta is playing Raila Odinga. I'm not ruling out that. But there is no way Uhuru Kenyatta can allow people like Oscar Sudi to go on attacking even the mother. There is no way William Ruto can allow himself to be humiliated the way he's being humiliated by people like Rafael Tuju, by people like David Murathe. There's no way he can allow that. There are limits to everything. So basically what the allies of Ruto and Ruto and Uhuru are telling us is that these guys have fallen out. So Uhuru Kenyatta falling out with William Ruto just means one thing, that he must work with Raila Odinga. There is no way Uhuru Kenyatta can fall out with William Ruto and then Raila Odinga is still on the other side. No way. So there's no way. And because of those attacks by their allies, I strongly believe that the handshake between Uhuru and Raila was actually genuine. What I'm not saying is that Uhuru is going to support Raila. That's a different story. But as things stand today, the relationship is actually beneficial to both the parties. Number 4 is the system. Let's face it, there is what is called the deep state. They are members of the deep state. Uhuru Kenyatta is the current president of the Republic of Kenya. He has members of his own deep state. These members of Uhuru Kenyatta's deep state, none of them is working to the advantage of the deputy president. None of them. So basically what we are witnessing is that the deputy president is accusing Karanja Kibicho. And Karanja Kibicho is doing everything possible to ensure that the deputy president is blocked from becoming the president of the Republic of Kenya. What about Fred Matiang'i? Fred Matiang'i and William Ruto don't see eye to eye. Just the other month, we witnessed Fred Matiang'i receiving the president instead of the deputy president. And we also witnessed Fred Matiang'i acting. And we also witnessed President Uhuru Kenyatta transferring the functions which were initially being performed by the deputy president, not to Raila Odinga, but to Fred Okengo Matiang'i. It tells you one thing, that the two guys have fallen out. And because they've fallen out, that's why he's reaching out to Raila Odinga. So he's not playing Raila Odinga. Take, for example, the provincial administration, which falls directly under Fred Matiang'i. Anytime the deputy president is supposed to go to any place, the chiefs, the assistant chiefs, the DOs and the DCs and the county regional command, all those teams are supposed to be mobilized to receive the deputy president. This has not happened since the time of the handshake. It only tells you one thing, that there's a fallout. It's that simple. So you can't sugarcoat the fallout to mean that Uhuru is now working with the Raila is to play Raila Odinga. I don't think so. And lastly, Jubilee politics. President Uhuru Kenyatta is the party leader of Jubilee Party. Raila Odinga is the party leader of ODM Party. You'd have expected that if the president was playing Raila Odinga, he would be strengthening his own political party. He would be handing over the management of that party to his deputy, strategically. But what have we witnessed? All the allies of the deputy president have been kicked out of the party. You go to parliament, all of them were kicked out of parliamentary leadership. You go to the Senate, all of them were kicked out of the Senate leadership. And the president ended up rewarding the allies of Raila Odinga. And because of those, I strongly believe that as much as I don't believe that Uhuru is going to endorse Raila Amolo Odinga, because Uhuru has never said that. Raila has maintained that the handshake was not about 2022 politics. I want to believe that. This handshake was never about 2022. The handshake was about their own personal political interest, and is serving their interest well. If the Building Bridges initiative is going to pass, let me assure you, it's going to serve the interest of President Uhuru Kenyatta, and it's also going to serve the interest of Raila Amolo Odinga. And that's what politics is all about. So I want to rule out the possibility and the notion that President Uhuru Kenyatta is playing Raila Amolo Odinga. He's not doing that. But I'm not saying that President Uhuru Kenyatta is endorsing Raila Amolo Odinga. These two gentlemen might even decide, in my own view, to support someone else. And I've been thinking of late that probably we are not going to have President William Ruto, and we are not going to have President Raila Amolo Odinga. We are likely to have someone else as the next president of the Republic of Kenya.